What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans. No, Bobby, I'm not taking a poop. Good nice. Takes a lot to set this up. Thank you very much. I wish I could do this from the bathroom. It's not as easy as it looks. Let me tell you. We're gonna go through the schedule really quick, then we'll make sure everything is running smoothly. Then we'll be on our way. So there's no White House again today. They decided not to come to work. Old man Walter's over in Ireland. They can keep him. That's fine. We're going to be starting off with a video titled Cleanup Efforts Continue in East Palestine, Ohio. It's an update about what's going on. Of course, there's more catastrophe. It's not just like they cleaned it up and it's all better now. That's not what's happening. Of course not. Then we have a video titled Louisiana Murder Suspect Arrested in Texas Near Border for Alleged Migrant Smuggling. That is body cam footage showing a police chase and then ending up pulling over the suspect, or however that needs to be phrased. It's quite entertaining. There's a couple parts that I will have to kind of cut out because they show firearms and you can't show that on YouTube live, but you'll get the gist of it. Then we have a video titled Musk Says Twitter is Roughly Breaking Even, talking about income for Twitter because all of the ad revenue had disappeared when he took over because all the softies left. They all evacuated. Well, they did briefly. If you go on there now, you'll see plenty of softies crying about gun laws and stuff like that. Then we have a video titled Evacuations Ordered as Massive Warehouse Fire Burns in Richmond. Schools closed for Wednesday. A huge warehouse fire going on there in Richmond, Indiana, caused an evacuation. We have that video, and the next video is like helicopter footage. We're not probably going to show the whole thing just because there's not really any audio. It's just kind of showing a daytime view of how large the fire is. And then we'll be wrapping things up on the YouTube side of things with a video titled Ex-Obama Official Unveils Striking Allegations Against Biden, FBI. Not sure exactly why it's titled like that, because what it is it's Peter Doocy out in Ireland with Old Man Walter, showing Old Man Walter mingling with other probable predators. As Peter Doocy cracks jokes about it and talks back and forth with his dad. I can't think of his dad's name now, but it's quite entertaining, so that's why we saved that for last. And then on the non-YouTube platforms, we have a video titled You Just Lied. Elon Musk slaughters BBC reporter in live interview. I don't have the whole interview, but this little chunk of the interview is worth watching. I just can't show it on YouTube because there's talks of the plague and stuff like that, and I can't show that stuff. So it is what it is, but it's quite entertaining to see Elon Musk tearing into this BBC reporter who is flimsy, nice and flimsy and soft. I was going to show the Orange Eagle interview yesterday with Tucker Carlson. I couldn't find it when it was supposed to be live at 8 p.m. Couldn't find it anywhere. I even went to the website and stuff. I don't know if you had to catch it on live TV or if you had to pay for some sort of subscription or whatnot. And then I was going to show it today because I figured Fox News would get away with posting it. But if they did post it, it got taken down because that whole interview is nowhere on YouTube. I can't find it anywhere. So we're not going to show that today as I was planning on doing. It is what it is. From what I've seen from the clips, there wasn't any like brand new information. Same old. Same talking points, same things mentioned. I haven't seen anything that was newsworthy, not from the interview. Of course, it's always good to hear from the Orange Eagle, but if I find something worthwhile, we'll put it up, but nothing on the schedule today. So we're going to be starting off with this video titled Cleanup Efforts Continue in East Palestine. While I'm getting that set up, I'm going to read through the chat. Make sure you guys are all good to go. If you are ready, go ahead and drop a 1 or a coffee in the chat to let me know you're good to go. Hopefully everything's running smoothly. What's up, Shanti? What's up, Lonnie? What's up, Johnny? Lonnie and Johnny. What's up, T. Lawton? What's up, Damon Walker? What's up, Elisa? What's up, Big Chap? What's up, Super Chad? What's up, Saw Dog? Happy freedom, you hooligans. What's up, Haywood? What's up, Ohio Kyle? What's up, Proud Ankle? Happy freedom to all of you. Glimmer Freak, softies are crying. They cry so hard. I've been just overwhelmed with everything going on the last 2 weeks, so I haven't been on Twitter in a few days. I don't need that kind of hate in my life, so I've been taking a break from Twitter. I'll go on and stir up the trouble eventually, though. Matthew got locked out of my Odyssey account. I don't know, that stuff gives me PTSD. I'm still fighting with Facebook. Facebook locks me out of my account every single day. They can't figure out how to save my stuff. Hackers are still using my accounts to run ads and all this other stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like fake my own death or something to get out of this. I don't know what to do. It's wrecking me. It's wrecking me. It really is. Life is just going to hell. What's up, everyone on the JeffMAC Live YouTube channel? What's up, Indigo? What's up, Chris? What's up, Cheeky Chops? Happy freedom, hooligans. What's up, everyone on Twitch? What's up, Soul For Real? What's up, Grey Wolf? What's up, Snooks? Happy freedom. Snooks? Oh, freedom. I wish the Kick would save my settings over here. I don't know why it's like that. What's up, everyone on Kick? Happy freedom. Let's see. Come on, Odyssey. Are you doing the thing? Are you doing the thing? Is Odyssey broken? Oh, there's people on Odyssey. What's up, everyone on Odyssey? What's up, Canyon Killer? What's up, King of Dorks? Happy freedom. Let's see what's going on with Rumble. What's up, everyone on Rumble? What's up, Joe? What's up, Shilling? What's up, Jeffro? What's up, Free Mind Art? What's up, Baby Boomer? What's up, Miss Jamie? What's up, Pumpkin? What's up, Rasta? Happy freedom, hooligans. What's up, everyone on the JeffMacLive.com? What's up, Donna Sparks? What's up, Nefties? Happy freedom. Appreciate you guys being here. All right. Let's go ahead and get it started. Look, she's excited to be here.
Well, it has now been over 2 months since the toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. And as cleanup efforts and residents' health concerns continue, so a tractor trailer hauling 40,000 pounds of contaminated soil from the cleanup site overturned on a state highway. For more on the cleanup, let's welcome in East Palestine residents Tammy and Rick Chai, who have been with us before. Thank you so much for joining us. Tammy, first to you, how have you been since we last spoke?
Well, we're still in our home, but it's very stressful here because there's a lot of things happening as far as people's health we're learning, and it's because of the long-term exposure to the vinyl chloride that's in people's homes. And my husband can talk more about that because he's the doctor. And but doing okay, just very stressed.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Rick, so I was reading some reports, and residents say that they suffer from vision impairment, shortness of breath, they have a sore throat. Talk to us more about that, and what are people saying that they're experiencing right now?
Well, at first, doctors were hesitant to test for chemicals. I'm not quite sure why, since the largest chemical bomb that I've ever known in the United States went off in our town. Now that patients have poked and prodded for testing, the few that have been tested for chemicals, several have tested positive for vinyl chloride metabolites in their body, which is not good.
What does that mean exactly? Does that mean that you could potentially get cancer, or talk to us more about that?
Absolutely, liver damage. No, actually, no one really knows at this point. It is due to, when it shows up in your urine, it's due to the long-term exposure, a daily chronic exposure. Over time. As it builds up in your body, you start basically peeing it out.
So many residents want to move, and they don't have the funds to do it. And some of them are finding homes, but they have 2 mortgages they'll have to pay. So we started a GoFundMe specifically to move people out of town. And it's at East Palestine Off the Rails on GoFundMe.com. And we appreciate any help you can. I know we're a little late to the game starting this fundraiser, but now that people are testing positive for vinyl chloride, people need to leave and protect their health.
A lot of people want to leave.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to stay. But those that have to, that want to leave, they can't.
Yeah, I think you hear people say, well, just move. It's not that easy to just move. I'm sure it's difficult to find somebody to buy your home and then have the funds to be able to move, especially if you have kids and jobs. Rick, I know that the governor visited East Palestine this week to lower any concerns over the safety of agricultural products. Samples, though, of plant tissue are being analyzed. Talk to us more about this, and do you feel that officials are doing enough?
We sent video. It's probably not going to be on your screen, but the creeks are still, the creek banks especially, are heavily contaminated. A few pokes into our creek banks, and the chemicals just going to boil out into the creeks. You can't, because you can't see in the fields and in your lawn, it's very hard for me to speak on that because that's the unknown.
Yeah, talk to us about the water supply, because I know you have taken video and we've shown that previously. So it doesn't seem like things are getting better.
Over Easter weekend, it was atrocious. I filmed on Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Easter Sunday, where they held the Easter egg, sponsored by Norfolk Southern, the Easter egg hunt in the park. And the creek, I was in the creek in the park, and it was just horrible.
300 yards away from where
And so I went to verify last night, and chemicals just boil out of the bank. And so that means it's in our soil, and possibly the hydrostatic pressure boils down. Those of us with well water are very upset, and basically the bottled water is basically gone.
And so we're asking folks if you can still remember us, and we will kindly accept all of your donations. You've been so gracious on doing so, but we are low and we are needing water.
There's many people in this community on well water that we also cook. The residents cook in well water so that the water goes quickly. And to my knowledge, maybe because it would go against the narrative, I don't think Norfolk Southern has ever donated any bottled water to us or our community.
Interesting. Well, you talk about drinking water, but also just showering and bathing. If you have well water, then that's getting into your body, correct?
It possibly can if it's leaching down from the creeks. We don't know how long that's going to take. Perhaps it's not there now, but I do know that some residents in Negley have contacted me, and their water is showing up signs of benzene. So I'm not sure if that's correct, but
there are people in town on city water that go to a hotel once a week to shower.
Yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Can you just remind us of the GoFundMe page that you have set up, the website for that, for folks at home?
It's
Facebook group.
It's East Palestine Off the Rails at GoFundMe.com. And we also have a Facebook group, so you can follow the progress in town, East Palestine Off the Rails. We appreciate it.
Well, Rick and Tammy Chai, thank you so much for keeping us posted. Good luck, and please, let us know how things continue to develop. We appreciate it, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Not good. Not good. They've been talking about East Palestine for a while now to try to make everyone forget what happened there. You guys are out here roasting that guy, saying he's like the Wish version of Elon and stuff. Yeah, I was kind of thinking he didn't look very healthy also when I was screening that footage there. I don't know. I'm sure it's hard to be there, and like they had mentioned, a lot of people are like, well, just move, as if that's easy to do. Just pick your life up and go somewhere else. Especially when nobody's helping. It's not good. It's not good. What's up, Tommy Temper? I'm not really having streaming troubles. It's hacker issues. And they're hitting me hard. They're hitting me hard. I'm getting like 15, 20 emails a day that are scam emails. Fake emails. Trying to impersonate Facebook, trying to impersonate YouTube, trying to suggest that they want to do sponsorships. It's all fake. It's all fake. They want me to click links and all this other stuff. It's all fake. Thank you so much, IB4, for gifting a membership over on YouTube. I appreciate you, IB4. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, you did too. You did too. You're awesome, IB4. Just reading through the chat really quick. Girl. He looks like a bad clone of Elon. He's kind of Elon-esque. Just a little bit. Sure Fuse. Did he play in Twilight? You guys are just roasting. The poor guy already lives in a town that was practically nuked. And now you hooligans are out here just roasting him. Poor guy. Poor guy. Anthony. Odyssey slapped me back here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Odyssey. It did not kick over like I thought it did. I started it back up though. Hopefully it's running now. Let's see. Norman, you let me know how that goes. Let me know how that goes. Happy Freedom Shadow, thank you for being here. Make sure you guys are racking up those likes. Let's get this chat filled up. Cheeky Chops, you're going ham over here on the secret channel. It's the secret channel. So for real, it sounds horrible to have to live with those chemicals in your blood. It's sad. Yeah, and they kind of mentioned that there was medical facilities that would not test. They refused to test for it. And I had seen back when this was like a new thing, when Ohio first got hit, that some of the biggest investors for the medical places in East Palestine are funded by Norfolk Southern. So the biggest investment, the biggest financial income is coming from the train that derailed and caused the issue. So after it happened, they were going to these medical facilities, the victims of this fallout were going to these medical facilities to be tested for chemicals, and the places were telling them no. They were saying that either they weren't able to do it or they didn't have available technicians to do it. And they kind of mentioned that in the video we just covered, where most people were not able to even get tested, and the ones who were tested positive for vinyl chloride, and it's just in their system, and all they can do is just pass it over a period of time, but it's going to cause medical conditions and all kinds of problems like that. And they're not going to get any reimbursement. There's not going to be any help, because they're not even really acknowledging fault to that level. They're acknowledging fault that the train derailed, but they're not saying anything about compensation for your property being damaged, your water being damaged, medical issues that you're going to run into because of this. They're not accepting any kind of fault like that. And then they kind of squeezed it in at the beginning there, saying that trucks that are hauling soil away, they're hauling away contaminated soil, one flipped over and dumped the soil onto the road somewhere. They're just like, oh yeah, by the way, this happened anyways. We're just going to interview these people. I don't think they even mentioned where that happened. But we're just spreading contaminated soil all over the country here. You get a little cancer, and you get a little cancer. It's not good. Like, you can't tell me these people care. There's no way. There's no way. They don't care. They don't care at all. I don't know. So this next video is titled Louisiana Murder Suspect Arrested in Texas Near Border for Alleged Migrant Smuggling. This is body cam footage. It's 2 minutes long. There's going to be a couple parts where I'm going to have to flip to this screen because they're going to show firearms, and I can't show that on YouTube Live. So you'll still be able to hear what's going on, and you'll see the majority of what's happening here.
Turn on the left.
All right, let's get her started.
Turn on the left into Julie's Tacos, it looks like. You can send me Braggarville units. Yeah, we just made a left on South Patrick Street. You can call 290 to be 490. Turn to Spring Street. We took a right on Spring, headed back towards 90, headed back towards Del Rio.
Hey, they both are to get off and start trekking. Towards Vacaville. I repeat, heading back towards Vacaville. 75 miles an hour. Any unit taking up spike of life. Getting close to Spring Hill, 693. Hey, on the shoulder. Stay in the trunk. Coming into the city of Blackwell, past 693. Going into Blackwell. 94.
1050.
1050 out of board station in Blackwell.
Get on the ground! On the ground! On the ground! Stop! Get down! Get down! Turn around!
Pursuit terminated right in front of the Border Patrol Station in Blackwell with a 1050. 2 USCs in custody, multiple.
Look at them pulling people out of the trunk.
See you next around.
not bad enough they were trying to arrest somebody who's a murderer from Louisiana, but then they go to pull him over and it's like a clown car. You got 15 people in there and like 6 of them were in the trunk. And then you go and think about how they were off-roading and jumping that vehicle in the ditch and stuff like that. That must have been terrible being in the trunk. They should use that footage as a way to sell that brand of car. I'm not sure if it was a Toyota or a Nissan or what, but it was doing some things. It was practically an off-road vehicle. Crazy sauce all day. Let's see. Just reading through the chat really quick. Scott, trucks are still coming to Michigan. Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the soil is coming to Michigan, but the water is going to Texas, or maybe it's the other way around. Yeah, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. What's up, Lioness? Happy Freedom. Thanks for being here. Tree herder. Cash grass or bottoms up. I don't know. They had a lot of people in that car. Whoever was driving was well paid, I'm assuming. Bobby, viewer discretion is advised. Nah, I don't think it was that graphic. I don't think it was that graphic. Be happy. Wow, what a ride that would be in the trunk. Yeah. Going over them bumps and maxing it out. I don't know. I'm sure that wasn't that great. They were like, yo, can you slow down, driver? They're like, I don't know if this is how you drive in America. You need to chill out a little bit. Just ignoring the sirens and whatnot. It's a Red Bear. Can you show it on Kick? Yeah, I can. I mean, I don't know what the limitations are on Kick, but as far as I know, I can show all that stuff. The only platform that limits me on stuff is YouTube. But YouTube is where everybody is, so it's kind of this give or take game I got to play here. It's all right. I've been doing it a long time. It's no big deal. Nobody's fault but mine. I've heard they get $1,500 each. I don't feel like that's worth it. I don't feel like it's worth it. It depends how much time you got to do. They say, like, for people that carry weapons and stuff, people who end up in conflict, this is kind of a criminal thing. Don't carry a weapon you're not willing to do time for. A big one is like brass knuckles. You hit somebody with brass knuckles, you're going to do 10, 15 years. If you're not willing to do that, don't carry brass knuckles. I could see the same thing with this crime. If you're not willing to go in for smuggling migrants, $1,500 probably isn't enough. I don't know. $1,500 in I almost said Obama. In Biden inflation, it's not a lot of money. That might get you a couple loaves of bread or something, but nah, it's not enough for me. $1,500, that ain't gonna do it. That ain't gonna do it. Can't even pay 1 month's worth of bills with that. But you might go sit 15 years. Like, nah, it's not worth it to me. Of course, criminals don't really think like that. They don't think logically. They're like, well, it's a Tuesday and I don't have nothing going on. Sure, I'll just throw some people in my trunk and call it a day. Bobby, you can show it on the only Hooligans. No, you can't. Karine was running an OnlyFriends, and she was showing news and stuff like she does, you know, going around DC and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure they banned her account for that. They did not want her showing what's actually happening, even on that platform where you can wink your back door at somebody. What's up, Jeff with a G? Happy Freedom. Thanks for being here. Just reading through the chat really quick. We're going to move forward to this next video in just a moment. Miss Jamie, $1,500 wouldn't even touch your legal fees. Yeah. No. And is that USD or is that in pesos? Because I don't know. $1,500 ain't enough. It's just not enough. You get drug addicts and stuff to do that. You go to the right neighborhood for $100, you can have somebody taken out and stuff like that. I guess it depends on what kind of idiot you're dealing with to have do the work for you. That's probably too much information. Never mind, just disregard that. Anyways, this next video is titled Musk Says Twitter is Roughly Breaking Even. This is the first of our 2 Elon Musk videos. The other one's going to be on all the non-YouTube platforms just because they mentioned the plague and can't talk about the plague, so it is what it is. This is more about Twitter. I was twitting her. All right, let's get her started.
Twitter CEO Elon Musk said the social media company is roughly breaking even. On Wednesday, he claimed advertisers have returned and its aggressive cost-cutting efforts have started to work after massive layoffs. In a live interview with the BBC on Twitter Spaces, Musk said the company now has about 1,500 employees. This is a sharp decline from just under 8,000 staff members Musk said it had before he took it over in October. Twitter has been marked by chaos and uncertainty since Musk's $44 billion buyout last year. Musk claimed Twitter was in a $3 billion negative cash flow situation and had to take drastic action. He also said the company could be cash flow positive this quarter if things go well. Last week, Twitter suffered a bug that prevented thousands of users from accessing links. It was the 6th major outage since the beginning of the year, according to internet watchdog NetBlocks. Musk acknowledged some glitches but said they have not lasted very long. Twitter has also been hit by a massive decline in advertising since last year's buyout. Musk blamed that on what he called the cyclical and sometimes political nature of ad spending. The billionaire said he had no one in mind to succeed him as Twitter chief executive, although he has previously said the end of this year would be good timing to find a new Twitter CEO.
I don't know. I think that's a bunch of nonsense. I seen Elon do a poll on Twitter asking if the Twitter community thought that they should find another CEO instead of Musk. And they said yeah, because Twitter's full of trolls and stuff like that, so he said he would. I don't know if any of that's true, and then it sounds like whoever that was that just covered that information kind of sounds like they fell for it. I don't think it matters. I think even if they did put a new CEO for Twitter, Elon would still be doing what Elon does on Twitter. T-Law, and I've never used Twitter. Twitter's kind of awesome right now. I mean, I think it is. There's still people who are getting banned and stuff, and I don't know how you get banned on Twitter. You must really be calling people out or something. I go ham on Twitter. I haven't lately because I've been dealing with so much other stuff that I can't really take on more than I'm already taking on. It's starting to cause me to be burned out. I don't even have the energy to go recharge my batteries on my day off because of everything going on. I'm like really running myself right into the ground. I'm trying not to, but I'm in charge of a lot of things. I have a lot of responsibilities and it's catching up to me. But normally when I'm on Twitter, I do like somewhere between 50 and 100 tweets a day, just responding to people who are idiots. People talking about gun-free zones being shot up. I go in there and debate so hardcore. I provide information, I don't receive information. So I'll make a statement and 300 people will comment underneath it with their brains exploding about how I think teachers should have the availability to be armed. If they conceal carry outside of the work, we'll say that, I think that we need to get rid of gun-free zones so they can conceal carry at work. And I think that that would solve most problems. Same thing with, you know, churches and hospitals and all that stuff. Gun-free zones are unconstitutional. Why would you have a gun-free zone in a gun-bearing country? That doesn't make any sense. Unless you want people to get victimized. That's the only way it makes sense. If you need victims to put on the news so you can turn around and have gun bans. That's the only way it makes sense. Because otherwise, if we didn't have gun-free zones, you would just kind of have this assumption that there's armed individuals somewhere in the area. And there would no longer be easy targets. On top of that, why would you have the most vulnerable people in a gun-free zone? How does that make sense? How does it make sense? Make it make sense. And people on Twitter just lose their marbles over that stuff. And they say crazy stuff. They say super crazy stuff. And it's because most of them are trolls and softies and idiots and people who will march and protest to have their rights taken away happily because they're dumb. They're dumb and soft at the same time. That's unfortunate, and I love to call them out and make them feel bad about themselves. Not that I want them to feel bad about themselves, but logic itself causes that, and they have to sit there in their little dark closet and, you know, make out with their dog and call themselves a unicorn and whatever they gotta do to feel better, because they're a bunch of soft idiots. But I'm right and they're wrong, and that's why I go there and I post that stuff, and then I don't even respond to any of the comments. I just make their heads explode and move forward. I'll get back to that shortly after I'm done with my responsibilities. And I use Truth Social exclusively. I see you on my Truth Social all the time. I appreciate you, Annette. Yeah, I like Truth Social, but I wish there was more people on it. I also wish it wasn't exactly like Twitter. That's the only thing that gets me, is it's kind of a ripoff from Twitter. And I already have Twitter, and there's a ton of people on Twitter. So when I go on Truth Social and I only get 2 engagements, where on Twitter I might get 30,000 engagements, I go to Twitter and I post stuff, but it's hard to hang out there. There just isn't enough going on. I feel like they need live streaming. Truth Social needs live streaming. I think that would change things, and maybe different kinds of engagement. I think that certain platforms should come out with gaming, like they used to have on Facebook. When Facebook first came out, you could play like Mafia, and there was like some farming game or something. I don't know. And I'm thinking like way back when MySpace was competing with Facebook. I'm an old man. But I think they need to bring back some gaming stuff on social media. So if you're on a platform like Truth Social and there isn't a lot of engagement because there's not a lot of people on the platform, at least you could play some games on there, and that keeps you on the platform, and then maybe you'll have interaction with other people playing games. Like, you know, you're building up your castle on your game, somebody else is building up their castle, you guys can be buddies now, and you could trade goods and help each other out, and now you're buddies. And then now you have engagement on the platform, and it brings more people to the platform because you're telling everybody, hey, go check out my castle, I'm building on this game and it's really cool, and blah blah blah. And then other people come to the platform so they can build their castle and be friends. And see, like, this is free information here. I hope that Orange Eagle is watching, because I feel like doing things like that would help build up social media platforms. I feel like networking, connection, communication isn't enough. It's not enough. I see it on my platform on JeffMACLive.com. You can connect with each other and communicate with each other every possible way known to man. You can upload documents and all kinds of stuff. You can do more on JeffMACLive.com than you can on any single social media platform available out in the whole world. You can do more on JeffMACLive than anywhere else, and people are still resistant to go there. And it's because communication isn't enough. Free speech isn't enough. Being free isn't enough. There needs to be something to do. And so I'm trying to implement games and stuff like that. Again, I'm like overwhelmed with work right now, but I see it happening in other places, like Kick. Kick is the same way. Kick is better than Twitch, but nobody's there. And people are like, why would I go? I have Twitch. And so it's not enough. It's kind of like Rumble, right? I tell everybody on YouTube, go to Rumble. Rumble's better, but they won't, because they have their own things they like about YouTube, and Rumble doesn't offer more than YouTube does. So there needs to be more, and I feel like we're on the brink of something new coming out, because right now we have a lot of people just kind of copying each other with a different color scheme. One's a little bit more clunkier than the other, stuff like that. True. What does your About Me page say on your dating site profile? Hypothetical, of course. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm going to think of something hilarious. I'm going to think of something hilarious. Most of my bios just say simple stuff. Well, now it says about coffee with hooligans, but it used to say like hardcore hooligan, hardcore freedom hooligan, and stuff like that. People are like, what is that? Let me subscribe to your only hooligans. And that you have to follow people. I have over 1,000 followers. Yeah, I probably do. I just probably need to engage more with True Social. Bobby, Rumble chat is too slow. Yeah, Rumble's getting better though. They're getting better. They now got badges and stuff like that. T Lawton, I go under a different name. Yeah, that's another thing, is a lot of you guys have different names for all these different accounts. So that's something that just started on Discord, and I keep forgetting to tell you guys. If you have a membership on Twitch or you have a membership on YouTube and you come into our Discord, your badges will show, your memberships and stuff will show over there, but you got to have the same sign-in information. If you have different sign-in information or different account names, I don't think it will show. But I was notified a couple weeks ago that if you guys go to Discord, to my Discord, I have everything synchronized. So if you're an official hooligan on YouTube or you're an official hooligan on Twitch, it shows up on Discord. I don't know if you get any special benefits or anything, but you should have a badge, or your name will be a certain color or whatever. I can't get people to hang out in Discord for nothing. I don't know why. We got like 4,000 people who are connected to it, but nobody hangs out in Discord. Everybody hangs out in Gilded right now, though. That's the way it is right now. What's up, St. Louis? Happy Freedom. Thanks for stopping in. I ain't seen you in a minute. Be a blessing until the mad evil ones are removed from the control that they're hanging on to. There's no choice. Yeah, that's the other thing, is a lot of these platforms claim to be free, or maybe they are free. So like when Kick came out and they said they were free speech, people were really testing it. They were showing like the Super Bowl. Klaus Daniels, this is not a duet. They were showing the Super Bowl. They were showing adult content, things like that, and they were getting away with it for a minute there. But then Kick started getting hit with copyright infringement, because you can't do that. According to the law, you can't do that. You don't have the right to show copyrighted material unless it's for specific purposes, like what we do. Educational purposes, commentary, review, things like that. But to just show it on the screen is copyright infringement, without sprinkling a little of yourself all over it. You like that? Yeah. So that started happening. So then, of course, Kick started cracking down. Same thing with Rumble. Rumble is supposedly free speech and all that good stuff. But now if you go into Rumble and you type the F word and just by itself in Rumble, they'll delete your whole comment. And their community guidelines are exactly like YouTube. So I think that one day Rumble will become YouTube. They just haven't started cracking down yet because they don't have the numbers. And I think YouTube is going to get rid of creators. I don't think creators are going to last on YouTube. That's why they keep building the rules up. They create more guidelines, but they never remove old guidelines. So you just have this continuous list of things you can't do. Eventually, I think they're just not going to have creators anymore because they're focused on YouTube TV. So if you scroll down the YouTube app, you'll now see like a bar that goes sideways that's showing movies for rent or for sale and stuff like that, because they're trying to get in a market to compete with Hulu and Netflix and things like that. They don't have to monitor that stuff. They just get the license to sell or rent the movie. They fill up a catalog full of movies that people are going to want. Everybody already has YouTube on their phone. It's going to be really easy for them to just merge over to being like like when you buy a brand new phone, as far as I know, it doesn't have Hulu or Netflix built into it. But the way things are going with YouTube, YouTube will be ahead of the market, because you'll buy a brand new phone, it'll have YouTube on it, and when you open it up, it'll say, hey, what movie do you want to rent or buy? It'll probably have a subscription pretty soon, to where it'll be just like Netflix, where you pay a monthly fee and you'll have access to everything on the platform. Or maybe like Hulu, where you have access to most things on the platform, but then you go to watch a specific show or a specific movie and they're like, hey, you need the premium package, you need to throw us an extra $5 every month or whatever. And they're going to do that. I think they're spending too much money babysitting creators because of misinformation, disinformation, graphic footage, blah, 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 all the rules. I think they're tired of it. I think they're spending too much money on employees babysitting creators on YouTube. I think that they spend too much money on community guidelines, and they don't want to do that anymore. It'd be a lot easier to be almost autonomous, just have a catalog of videos for rent and for sale, and just totally wipe out creators, because I don't think that they're benefiting from them enough. That's what I predict for the future. I think that YouTube's going to be just like Netflix and all of that. I think all these other social media platforms are about to go through a change, because communication just isn't enough to get people to stay on the platforms. I think Rumble's going to become YouTube. I think that Twitch is going to end up buying Kick or something along those lines. My mouse just died. That's what I predict for the future, just from the things that I'm seeing. I don't know. Welcome to my TED Talk. It is what it is. Grey Wolf, there's too many platforms. I agree. I'm live streaming on 11 platforms right now. There is too many platforms. There definitely is. Let's see. So for real. Yeah, send me an email. I don't know why you're getting kicked off of JeffMAClive.com. I don't know why that would be. You shouldn't be. Because like now I'm using the Brave browser and it kind of blocks things that are tracking you, like cookies and stuff like that. And so I've had so my Facebook keeps getting locked. They keep locking my Facebook, saying that strangers are accessing my information. But I think what it is I'm accessing it through the Brave browser and they can't track it. They don't know who's accessing my account and it's causing them to lock it. But I can still access the website. And there's a cookies banner that pops up that I've implemented because of California laws. I can't track which one of you hooligans are from California. But because of California laws, I have to have this cookies banner, blah, blah, or whatever, to be parallel with the law. Even if you don't engage with it, you'll still have access to everything. I think if you reject all the cookies, it may cause issues with the website because the website's trying to track that you have authority to be there because of the restricted areas that you don't have access to unless you're, a member. So I think the cookies have to track you for that to work. And if you reject all the cookies, that could be causing you to have issues on the website. But if you just don't even click on anything or you select anything other than reject all, you're good to go. So send me an email. We'll figure that out. What's up, Sam? Happy freedom. I'm just sitting here going on and on. All right, so we're going to move forward to this next video. It's titled Evacuations Ordered as Massive Warehouse Fire Burns in Richmond. School is closed for Wednesday. Huge fire going on in Richmond, Indiana. This video and the next video are about the same thing. This is like the reporting on it. The next video is going to be like sky daytime footage of the fire itself. Get this started up. Blah, blah, blah. YouTube keeps demonetizing my videos, and I think it's because I keep showing fire. I don't know. Fire is scary, I guess. I don't know. It's been a rough 2 weeks, I'll say that. Let's get this started, hooligans.
Now at 6 o'clock, take a look at this. This is the massive fire still burning in Richmond and the eastern part of Indiana yet this morning after breaking out yesterday afternoon. The fire marshal says this likely is going to remain the case and keep burning for a few days as fire crews are taking a defensive stance in their approach there. What does this mean for the people who live there? Well, if you're close by, there is an evacuation order that now is in place because there were plastics in the building that burned, and so the smoke around the fire is considered toxic.
Samantha Johnson is live in Richmond this morning with the look at the situation there. We've talked about this is going to be burning for days. You can still see, are you still seeing active flames this morning, Samantha?
We are, Julia and Anne Marie. In fact, we've seen some of those flames lessen when crews are able to get in there, but some of them are actually getting worse. And I want to show you, if you take a close look here behind us. So right where those trucks are set up, there was a massive flame there just a few moments ago. That's died down, but now crews are turning their attention back to this area that's kind of blocked by a few of the homes in the back. You can see that water spraying the backside of that property there. We had just seen flames that were feet tall in the air. So this is still a very busy morning here in Richmond. Crews have been coming in and out of this side street all morning long. I also want to tell you a few things that we have noticed just since we've been here on the scene for the past couple of hours. We have noticed that much of that smoke is headed northeast, so we are safe where we are right now. We're out of that debris zone. We've also noticed there's not really any kind of smell, and again, that could be because it's all blowing the opposite direction. We also noticed as soon as we pulled into town earlier today, we got an emergency alert on our phone to let us know about that evacuation here in this area. So I want to walk you through exactly what we can tell you this morning. As we mentioned, we know this was a plastics recycling facility where this fire broke out yesterday afternoon. And the fire crews tells us, we talked to the chief here, he says this is probably the biggest fire he has ever seen in his career. Now we know it started as a tractor trailer just outside that facility. Crews were able to get it under control before it spread to any nearby homes or businesses, and it was considered contained yesterday. So that's the good news. But overnight, we are also hearing a little bit more about who could have owned this property, and we're hearing of conversations between the ownership and the city that there were concerns that something like this could have happened, conversations to make sure this property was kept safe and up to date. Here's what some of the city leaders had to say yesterday. We know that we were able to talk to the fire chief. We also talked to the mayor here in Richmond. They tell us that they were deeply upset that someone was able to own this property, create this kind of hazard, and have this kind of neglect right here in their own community. So certainly as this investigation continues, we will learn more. No official word yet on the cause of that fire. We also know this morning the toxicity of all of this is a big concern for residents here in Richmond. We know, according to the mayor, we are still waiting on an official report from the EPA, but we mentioned those evacuation orders, making sure that you're staying out of this area if you can. For folks that are just outside that half-mile radius, they're also being asked to shelter in place, stay indoors, shut windows, shut doors, bring in pets if you can as well. So Julia and Anne Marie, an incredibly busy morning here. This now coming on day 2 of fighting this fire.
Of what will be a very, very busy couple of days. Samantha, thank you. And you can hear from those city leaders online at WTHR.com.
So I'm going to put on this next video. It's sky footage in the daytime of this fire. This fire is huge. It's huge. It's like another day, another disaster. With the size of this fire, it's like blocks. It's like a mile long. It's not good. And it's kind of like the Ohio situation. They don't want to talk about how toxic it is. They evacuated people in the immediate area. They did the same thing in East Palestine. But there's so much chemicals and plastic and random stuff in this warehouse or warehouses in this area that this is going on for days. This is like day 2 of this fire. They expect it to continue on for the next few days before they're able to get it put out. I seen another article that it was kind of redundant, which is why we didn't cover it, but they were saying that the property owner for this property was issued some sort of warning or citation or something telling them they needed to clean the area up, and then they didn't do that, and now this happened. So we seen something similar in Chicago a couple months ago where it was a giant warehouse that was on fire. Supposedly they were storing materials, furniture, supplies, and things like that, but it was just newly purchased. And so a lot of people in the chat and whatnot were kind of suspecting maybe this was like an insurance thing. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but look at the size of that cloud. Like, you could probably see that from outside of the state. Who knows? And people act like this happens. Oh, this just happens every day. It's okay. It's not okay. This stuff happens every day all across the country. Nobody knows how it happens. These things are just randomly popping up left and right on a daily basis. This stuff is not okay. Like, how many of these have to happen before we have permanent damage across the country? Ohio Kyle, I don't know if I can find the chat now, but saying like, you know, we're leaving Ohio here. Great. Trying to leave Ohio, and then this happened in Indiana where we got our new house. Can't win. Exactly. They're creating our environment as a whole is like a toxic wasteland. How can we outrun this? And where are we supposed to go? At this point, most countries hate us. You can't even, like, if you go to another country, you better tell them you're Canadian. Because if you tell them you're an American, not authorities, you have to tell authorities the truth. But if you're like socializing out and about in a foreign country, don't tell them you're an American. Most countries do not like us. They do not like the way we're portrayed on TV and stuff. It's not good. So where are we going to go? Most countries don't want us there. You can't leave the country. And they're making our country inhabitable on top of the invasion going on. What are we supposed to do? How far will things go? It's kind of scary. Things are getting scary. Just reading through the chat really quick. What's up, Carolyn? Happy freedom. We got one more video to show. It's titled Ex-Obama Official Unveils Striking Allegations Against Biden, FBI. But it's Peter Doocy being hilarious. Shadowing is what I was trying to say. I don't know what I was going for there. Casting spells, I guess. He's shadowing old man Walter, who had just got done speaking. He spoke earlier today. He's supposed to speak later on today. I don't have any intentions of covering it. Every time I cover it, you guys leave, and then I'm sitting here by myself watching this old man say crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense or any kind of difference. So I don't know. Happy Freedom, Damon Walker. Everybody loves a good bonfire. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty weird to have fires every single day, train derailments and all that, and then nobody cares. Nobody cares. If it's me or you out here doing anything, you break the speed limit, you cross the road outside of the crosswalk, you're going to jail. Them officers are going to come put you on your head and starve you to death in jail. They're going to have like UFC inside jail. You'll be fighting people who are in there doing life because the COs are bored and they want to see something fun happen. But man, you have anybody with authority, any kind of politician, anybody who has any kind of responsibility over us, the people, there is no accountability. Just none. They could just shoot us in the face, broad daylight, in front of everybody, and nobody's going to do anything. They'll just sit there and watch you choke on your blood while they eat their morning grapefruit. Just no accountability. None at all. I don't know what the future holds. It's I don't feel like it's safe. I don't feel like it's safe. It's crazy sauce everywhere you go. Let's see. NS, at least you'll have the taco stand down the street. I don't know. It's a rough place out here. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to this next video. I got 15 minutes or so before I have to get going. I think we're gonna be able to cover everything. We'll see. So this is Peter Doocy and Fox and Friends. The title they have is not fitting for what we're gonna watch. Just know we're gonna watch Peter Doocy and it's gonna be awesome. All right, let's get her started.
President Biden wrapping up a speech in Northern Ireland moments ago.
And he will soon travel to the airport to head now to Dublin for the next leg of his 4-day trip. Will Peter be with him?
That means Peter Doocy will be getting on a bus and going from Belfast down to Dublin, and he joins us with a wrap-up of what the president just talked a little bit about. Peter.
Yes, and something notable about this trip, no press conference, and the press team made a point to talk about how the president takes a lot of shouted questions. This is like the perfect live example to show this is as close as we get at events like this. It's not really possible. I mean, it's possible to yell, but it would be unlikely to be heard by him, and it's almost impossible that we would expect to hear his answer. Over there, somewhere in the crowd, he does have his son, Hunter, who is sitting in the front row. And this is happening as we get a new look at some old Hunter Biden and White House business records that show he and his business partners, or rather his business partners, visited the White House or the Naval Observatory 80 times. And there's a former Obama White House stenographer who was telling the New York Post about a past foreign trip. Joe Biden committed crimes in Ukraine in a conspiracy with Jake Sullivan. I'm a witness to that happening. President Biden's defense has been consistent for years on this topic. He says there's been a wall up between official business that he is carrying out and family business that his son is doing.
"25 years ago this week, the landmark Belfast Good Friday Agreement was signed. And it wasn't easy. I was a United States Senator at the time, and I worked very closely with my good friend George Mitchell, who will be here, I believe, in a couple days. And there were no guarantees that the deal on paper would hold. No guarantees that it would be able to deliver the progress we celebrate today. It took long, hard years of work to get to this place.
And that was the meat of the president's comments today. He is not focusing on anything really back home while he is here. He wants to just mark a quarter century of peace in Northern Ireland. Back to you.
Okay, so Peter, you obviously can't yell a question to the president right now. But
I could try.
I mean, when would
yes, I can hear you.
Everyone in that room would turn around.
I want to know about the documents. I want to know about these. I want to know about these classified documents and what allies are asking him.
And Peter, I understand at the top of the hour you had a one-on-one interview with John Kirby, national security spokesperson, and you're actually going to break news in about 30 minutes.
Yes, and he is the one that we were told can talk about the documents. And so we are going to talk to him about the documents and what they're hearing here in Northern Ireland. I will try just to get his attention because it looks like he's almost done.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. President.
Peter's been doing this for
Nothing.
years. Nothing. How about Hunter? Hunter's over there.
Hunter is over there.
Have him come over.
Oh, Hunter left. So, it's just they pipe music in, so it's harder for him to hear us, and it's harder for us to hear anything that he says. Yeah.
All right.
So next time, off to Dublin.
Yes, indeed. Hop on the bus. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Peter.
President almost available. He takes shouted questions. I've never heard that retort to why doesn't the president have more press conference? He takes shouted questions.
So far away from him, the president can't hear.
Yeah, we keep everyone in a neighboring yard, and you just yell out.
But apparently, I've read the transcript. We've all got it on our phones. Peter talks to John Kirby. We get some answers.
Did he announce who was leaking this?
Can't say.
Okay.
Till 9 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
Monday's message was, I don't know, which was interesting.
Embargoed till 9.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe.
Peter cracks me up. He's sitting there live. He's like, hold on, I'm gonna yell at old man Walter really quick. And everyone but old man Walter turned. He don't want no problem with Peter. I can't remember what he called him. We had it as a sound bite before. Called him a bastard or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he don't like Peter. Peter likes to troll him hardcore. Yeah, he did a speech earlier. I think he's got another speech at 2:45 or something like that in about 25 minutes. Well, if it's Eastern time. But we're not covering that nonsense. Old man Walter doesn't say anything important, but it's pretty suspicious that Hunter and old man Walter are both in Ireland, just kind of hanging out like it's vacation time or something like that. Pretty suspicious. I don't know. It's not usually like that. He went to Ireland before he went to Ohio. Like, let's put it like that. Moby. Longtime watcher, first time commenter. I love Coffee with Hooligans. Thank you so much for covering the news. The chatters are awesome too. Thank you, Moby. I appreciate you being here. You're awesome. What's up, Ink Scars? What up, buddy? Ting Ting called him a stupid SOB. That's right. That's right. I wonder if I still got it. I might still have it. I have to change my hotkeys, but sometimes I leave the sound up here. Do. Oh, where is it? I might have taken it down. We got this one.
Are they friend or foe?
I have a whole line up here. Yeah, I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it anymore. We got some that you guys ain't even heard. I got more sounds and buttons. We'll fix that. Donna Sparks sent me a Stream Deck. I got to figure out how to use it, but we'll be able to line up a whole bunch of sound bites and stuff like that pretty soon. Trying to think. I got one old man Walter saying don't jump. That'll be coming up soon. I got a whole bunch of stuff on my to-do list. I'm working on it. So that was the last one for the YouTube side of things. Oh man, we're cutting it close. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the spiel deal, then we're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance, then we're gonna wrap things up on YouTube, and we're gonna try and show this last video on all the non-YouTube platforms, just because I have to obey the community guidelines. It's not my fault. I wish I could show everything on YouTube, but it is what it is. Sam, Screaming Goat, just for you, bud, just to clear the palate there from the moments we had to hear old man Walter's voice. So we're gonna do the spiel deal really quick. We're gonna race through all of this because I want you guys to see this video of Elon just letting this reporter for the BBC have it. Klaus Daniels, oh my god, you're like the Screaming Goat. So we're gonna race through all of this really quick. When you guys get a second, please go to JeffMAClive.com. On the homepage, you can find all of my links listed. You can find the link to join Gilded for free. Gilded is currently the best way to receive notifications for when and where we go live. Every time we go live, there's a news board on Gilded to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. There's a ton of hooligans in there to hang out with all day, every day, so please join Gilded. Also on the JeffMAC Live homepage, you can find links to go to the merch store if you would like to grab some merch. We have shirts, hoodies, stickers, and coffee mugs. Everything is displayed in black and white or white and black, but if you find something you like, just click on that item to see all the different colors that item comes in. You can also find links to PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Stripe, Zelle, Buy Me a Coffee, and Locals if you would like to support what I do. You can also find those links in the description on all the platforms that are live right now if you would like to show some support. There's also a link to the Amazon wish list if you would like to send me stuff. It's really easy to use. Anything you purchase directly from the wish list will be sent straight to me without having to find an address, send emails, or do anything like that. It's really simple. And then finally, there are links for the membership programs. We have memberships for YouTube, Gilded, Discord, Odyssey, Rumble, and Twitch. And then JeffMacLive.com itself has a membership program that will give you access to our private social media area, our private live streaming area with a built-in chat. You'll also have access to our advanced communication system to where you can send messages to each other, call each other, video chat each other. We have group calling, group voice chat, group video chat. You have the ability to upload any kind of media that's ever been created by man ever. We're just the greatest over there, so go get yourself a membership to JeffMacLive.com. You can claim a free week membership at the top of the link tree. So find the link tree link. It's on all the platforms. At the very top, you can claim your free week membership to JeffMacLive.com. No strings attached, no credit cards required or anything like that. After your week is up, you'll just lose access to the private area. Your account will still exist. So if you want to subscribe and pay for a membership, then you'll just pick up where you left off. But without that, you'll just lose access to the private area. So definitely go join JeffMacLive.com. All right, give me a second to cut off YouTube, and then we will continue on with the other platforms. Let me drop these links really quick because I keep forgetting to do that. That way you guys can make your way over to Snooks. Odyssey's buffering badly. I don't know what's going on with Odyssey. I'll have to deal with it at some other time. I can't do it right now. Not sure what's wrong with Odyssey. I won't even post a link for it. We'll just save everybody the trouble. Go to YouTube, or go to YouTube. Go from YouTube to Rumble or JeffMacLive.com, or click on the link tree, because then you can check everything out. Because we're also live on Twitch, we're live on Kick, we're live on Twitter, we're live all over the place. So definitely go check it all out. Find a place you like to be, just because we can't show everything on YouTube. I wish I could. I really wish I could. I really wish that we were just live on YouTube only. But they have made it to where we can't rely on them. Can't rely on YouTube. Not able to, unfortunately. For all of you that only watch on YouTube, I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support. I wish I could show everything here on this platform, but I'm not able to. So I got to do what I got to do to not break the rules and still show everybody what's happening. So for all of you that watch on YouTube, I appreciate all of you. So with that being said, I posted the link to Rumble and to JeffMacLive.com, as well as the link tree. Go find a place where you can feel comfortable. Watch the last video we have here. It's Elon Musk just tearing into BBC, and it's really awesome. It's really awesome. It's good stuff. So you definitely don't want to miss it. Make your way over there. We're going to wrap things up on YouTube. Hopefully I see you guys there. Actually, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, because I want to do the Pledge of Allegiance with all of you guys. I love doing that. So you have until the end of the Pledge of Allegiance to make your way over to the non-YouTube platforms. All right, hooligans, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do. Yes, Klaus Daniels, we know. We know. Going ham. Oh my God, you're doing too much. You're showing your true colors. They can hear you. Yeah, they can hear you. You're being a crybaby right now. You need to cut that out. All right, make your way to the non-YouTube platforms. I'm cutting off YouTube. It is what it is. See you guys on the next one.